Welcome back to the channel. It's been a week since I got back from my 1200-mile all-electric road trip of Great Britain, which went very well, apart from one thing, and that was paying for the electricity. Now, some charging stations took my Octopus Electroverse EV charging card, and that was very easy. In fact, it's so easy. It's almost the easiest charging experience. It's not quite. The easiest charging experience is the Tesla or plug and charge fastnet charging experience, where you just plug the car in and it bills your account. But Octopus is a close second. You plug the car in, you tap your card, and then when you finish charging, you press the button on the car and you put the plug back in, and that's it. You get one bill at the end of the month. But everyone else was a bit naff. You had to have an app, or you had to tap your card on the machine, and there are all sorts of problems with that. And I was thinking about how easy it is to fill up with petrol. Because normally what you do when you fill up with petrol is you put the petrol in and you go into the shop and you pay for it with a card or cash, or you can use pay at pump. Now, I went to pay at pump earlier and it went something like this. Okay, so here we are at the petrol station. I'm going to put my card in, and as usual I only have £10 on this card. This is a test card and it will try and pre-authorise 120 at first. Right, I've only got about £10 on this account, but it should let me fill up to, yep, there we go, look, £9. So it did try to pre-authorise the full £120, but then what it does is it comes down until it finds a level that it can work with, in this case £9. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and look, it stopped at £9. There we go. That was so easy, straightforward. It won't let me spend any more money than I have. Okay, and now here I am at an EV charging station. Same sort of situation. I've only got a limited amount of money on the card, and you'll see it kind of went like this. Okay, so I'm going to try and refuel the EV this time, and I've got the same card, so it's the same bank and the same card, but I've put £10 more in the account. So again, it's only got £10 on this card. I'm going to try it on the machine. It says processing and it will say payment rejected. So it's tried to take £40. There wasn't £40 on the account, there was actually only 10. And as such, it just won't let me do anything. It just sort of stops at this stage of the charging process. Might have even locked the cable to the car. I tried again, just nothing. It's just not going to work. Yep, can't take the cable out, and that's annoying. But I can get the charge started with my Octopus Electroverse card, which works really well. But if you don't have one of them, you're a bit stuck. You have to use the other form of payment, which is an app, and it all gets rather complicated. So the simplest way would really be to use the card, but £40, you'd really struggle to get £40, more than £40 in a car. Seems a bit high to me, and it won't negotiate down like the petrol pump does so very easily. Okay, so in both those videos, I had about the same amount of money on the card, less than the pre-authorization limit. Now, it is a higher pre-authorization limit at the pay at pump for petrol. It's £120. The EV station is normally £35 or so. And if you've got less than that amount, with the EV, it just won't work. Now, the other problem is that EV chargers can be quite glitchy. Now, I found them generally to work first time every time, but they can sometimes fail. And the problem with that is, if you've got a pre-authorization limit of, say, £60, and you try 10 times to get your charger to start, and on the 10th time it does work, you've pre-authorized £600. Now, you will get that money back into your account, but it does seem to take a while. Now, the pay at pump system now seems to work pretty much straight away. You get the money back as soon as you put the nozzle back in. So why is this? Why are petrol stations so much better? And I don't really know the answer. Why can filling up with petrol be so simple? And I think obviously it's because it's well proven, but also I think that the EV charging network providers just don't get it. They just don't understand that to make EVs really accessible, it has to be as easy as paying for petrol or diesel. It should be that every charging station takes contactless, And there's none of this nonsense with pre-authorization. Now, I get why it has to be like this, because otherwise you just get a prepaid Master or credit card, Visa card, and it would only have £1 on it, and you would just have your card with £1 on it, and then you would just, you know, charge your car up and then get another card. And I get people would scam the system, and probably have scammed the system like that. But the petrol system gets around that. If you only had £1 on your card, you'd only be able to put £1 worth of petrol in the car. Surely that's capable for EVs. Surely that can be done. And for next year, the government is going to mandate all EV charging stations to take contactless card. Well, can't they do something similar? And also, what happens if your card isn't contactless? That's another problem. This obsession with apps is really ridiculous. The government really needs to mandate that all charging stations should be able to take a range of cards like Octopus Electroverse. I'm not saying there should only be one charging network card, but there has to be a level of intercompatibility between these systems. We shouldn't have to have lots of cards and lots of apps. It's ridiculous, and it needs to be sorted out, because people will just give up and say, I couldn't charge my EV, or it was very complicated and confusing, I'm going back to petrol where I can pay with cash. And on that point, try charging your EV and paying with cash. You can't do it. That's annoying. It's something that we take for granted with petrol and diesel, but it's something that you can't do with an EV. And really, I kind of think we should be able to pay with cash. The technology is there, it's just not being implemented. So come on, charge network providers, let's make this simple, let's make this user-friendly, and let's not exclude people who don't have the pre-authorization limit, because you might have the pre-authorization limit at £35, and for whatever reason the charger glitches out and you have to try charging again, and then it won't work because your pre-authorization takes a couple of days to go back in. What's that all about? You need to do better, because if more and more people are going to have EVs, they're going to have real issues with getting charged, and it's going to become a real problem. And the thing is that not all charge networks even take a charge card. Some of them are card only, as in debit and credit card only. They don't take a charge network card. So you might be stuck somewhere, and this is a real possibility, that only has a charge network that only takes credit and debit cards. You might only have £35 or whatever the pre-authorization limit is, and then the charge just doesn't work that one time. It works the next time, but you can't pay for it, and then you're stranded. What do you do? This is such a simple problem. The technology is there to fix it. Something needs to be done. Okay, thanks for watching. Tune in next time.